now, Governor Roy Cooper is providing an update on the tropical storm Isaias. Let's listen in.
As it continues to approach North Carolina. As the storm closes in, we expect it to increase in intensity. There's a potential for dangerous hurricane-force winds as it makes its way toward landfall later tonight. That means we must be on high alert. This storm will bring dangerous weather conditions to much of our state overnight. Heavy rains, flash floods, and storm surge can quickly inundate low-lying areas. Stay inside during the heavy winds and watch for tornadoes. Hurricane warnings have been issued in 3 North Carolina counties: Pender, Brunswick, and New Hanover. Tropical storm warnings and watches have been issued for much of eastern and central North Carolina. Pay attention to these warnings and secure your home and belongings. Have a way to stay informed, particularly since the storm will sweep through at night. As we've cautioned before, the status or category of a storm can be misleading. Whether it's labeled a tropical storm or a hurricane, you should take this storm seriously and make sure your family is ready. That means taking care of your pets too. This storm threatens our coastline with storm surge and damaging winds, but the inland areas are also at risk. Be prepared for a lot of rain, as much as 7 inches in some places. The rain combined with high winds can lead to flooding, down trees, and down power lines. And make sure you're ready with supplies, flashlights, and things in case you lose power. And remember, never drive through flooded roads. As little as 18 inches can sweep a car away. We've lost too many lives after these storms because of people trying to drive through water. We have deployed water rescue, transportation, and emergency workers to the eastern part of the state. I've talked with the United States Coast Guard leadership, and they are standing by to help, along with our North Carolina National Guard. Healthcare workers are preparing to assist at a medical shelter if it's needed. Swift water rescue teams, high water vehicles, and helicopters are standing by and have been strategically positioned. State and local officials continue to be on the ready, and Director Sprayberry will discuss more of those preparations. Listen to local officials and follow any evacuation orders that you get when they're issued. If you're told to evacuate, the most important thing to do is get out of the danger zone. First, plan to stay with family or friends. And if that doesn't work, a hotel is the next option if you can afford it. But no, shelters will be available for those who need them. Visit your county government website or call 211 for instructions on sheltering options. Shelters will screen people for coronavirus symptoms. If someone has COVID-19 or shows symptoms, they'll be directed to a sheltering option for isolation or medical attention. Shelters will have PPE and will honor social distancing. Now, I know that North Carolinians have had to dig deep in recent months to tap into our strength and resilience during the pandemic, and that hasn't been easy. But with this storm on the way, we have to dig a little deeper. Let's keep each other safe from the wind and water, as well as from the virus. As this storm arrives in just a few hours, remember the power that comes from helping one another. We're all better off when we work together. I'd like to ask our Director of Emergency Management, Mike Sprayberry, to share an update with us. Mike?
Thank you, Governor, and thank you for your leadership. Today is 147 of the COVID-19 response at the State Emergency Operations Center, and it is day 4 of the Isaias evacuation. Today, we finalized all of our preparations for the storm's arrival into the state, which will occur later tonight. North Carolina residents should have completed their personal preparations as well. If you're still making last-minute preparations, visit readync.org for guidance on personal preparedness as well as to find current shelter locations. We continue to coordinate closely with our counties as they make final preparations for the storm's arrival and to support any resource needs. They are now opening up their EOCs and shelters. The CERT has 142 motivated North Carolina National Guard soldiers and airmen staged at locations in central and eastern North Carolina, ready to respond as needed. Highly trained swiftwater rescue teams with Zodiac boats and also aviation assets are also at the ready at multiple locations. Other state partners, such as the State Highway Patrol and the Department of Transportation, have resources either embedded with our county partners or staged to decisively move into impacted communities. The power companies are expecting widespread power outages, and they have crews ready to begin restoration as soon as Isaias passes. If your power goes out, remember these safety tips. Don't use a generator or grill in your home or garage. They generate carbon monoxide fumes that can be deadly. Use flashlights or battery-powered lights instead of candles. Charge your cell phones and other devices now before the power goes out. If cell phone networks are degraded, remember that a text message will often go through when a phone call will not. As this storm moves in this evening and overnight, be prepared for power outages and the possibility of flooding. This will be true for areas along the coast as well as inland. Along the coast, storm surge will be a significant threat, particularly in Brunswick and New Hanover counties. Make sure you have a way to receive weather alerts that will alert you overnight, like a weather radio or a smartphone app. This is especially important if you live in a flood-prone area. You can also use the state's flood inundation mapping and alert network to let you know when rivers, streams, or coastal waters near you are rising to flood levels. That's FIMAN.nc.gov. Again, that's FIMAN.nc.gov to learn about flooding in your area. Stay off the roads tonight unless you absolutely need to travel or are ordered to evacuate. Hazards like flooded roads and downed trees and power lines will be difficult to see in the rain and darkness. If ordered to evacuate by your local officials, evacuate promptly as directly. Don't let concerns about COVID-19 prevent your evacuation. Evacuate the shortest distance possible to get out of the impacted area. Try to stay with family, friends, or a hotel to minimize contact with others during this pandemic. If these options are not available, go to a shelter. Remember, if told to evacuate, don't hesitate. If you live at a safe place inland, please do your part and offer to let family or friends evacuate to your home. Both non-congregate and congregate shelters are available for evacuees who require sheltering. Look to your county government website and social media channels for sheltering instructions for your county. Local governments and the American Red Cross have health screening, physical distancing, and cleaning protocols in place in shelters to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 virus. The new Know Your Zone program is also in effect. 20 coastal counties have developed coastal evacuation zones based on areas most at risk due to storm surge and river flooding. Visit knowyourzone.nc.gov to see if you live in one of these evacuation zones and listen for it if evacuations are ordered. Being aware and prepared is the key to staying safe during Isaias and through the rest of the hurricane season. We need each of you to remain vigilant tonight as this storm begins to impact us and to not become complacent about the potential impacts of this event. And don't forget to observe the 3 W's. Wear a face covering, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands to stop the spread of COVID-19. As always, don't forget to look out for your family, friends, and neighbors during the pandemic and Isaias. Call your loved ones today to make sure they're ready. I guarantee they'll appreciate it. With kindness and cooperation, we'll all get through this together as one team, one mission, and one family. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Director Sprayberry. I'll now hand it over to our Secretary of the Department of Transportation, Eric BOYETTE, to provide an update on their preparation. Eric?
Thank you, Governor. All of our staff are prepared and ready to respond to this storm. We have sent home our maintenance crews so that they can rest, do what they need to do for their personal homes, and prepare to work later tonight and tomorrow. We have more than 2,200 highway personnel ready to respond to this storm, and we've repositioned and pre-positioned equipment, materials, and road barricades so that we're ready to go. Ferries have completed their evacuation efforts on Ocracoke. We've evacuated over 1,700 vehicles, 3,500 people from Ocracoke since Friday. We have completed suspension of all of our coastal ferries by 5 o'clock today. We will be mooring those vessels today to make sure they're safe during this storm as it passes. As of today, the ports of Moorhead and Wilmington are fully secure and closed to commercial activity. I would like to remind everyone in the path of this storm, please take this storm seriously. This storm is forecast to have heavy rain, heavy winds, and flooding in eastern North Carolina late tonight and through midday Tuesday. People should avoid traveling in areas where flooding, high water, there are particularly low-lying areas prone to flooding. Don't attempt to travel as the storm is passing through North Carolina on Tuesday. We will be working very hard to restore the mobility as quick as possible, but our safety is our first priority. Even after the storm is passed, please remember to follow these rules. Never drive around a barricade. When the road is safe, we will open it back up. Never drive through water. And please visit drivenc.gov for the latest road conditions.
Thank you, Secretary BOYETTE. I'd now like to recognize Colonel Glenn McNeil, the commander of the North Carolina State Highway Patrol. Colonel McNeil.
Thank you, Governor. The Highway Patrol continues to work with our state and local partners as we all continue to monitor the storm's path. Troopers are strategically positioned across the state, ready to respond at a moment's notice to impacted areas affected by the storm. As the storm makes landfall, roadway conditions within the impacted areas will diminish quickly. This will make travel in certain portions of our state very dangerous. Flash flooding, downed trees and power lines, and high winds are to be expected throughout the night. As in past storms, our message is very clear. Please do not attempt to drive through floodwaters. The decision to do so could lead to tragic circumstances and has contributed to several deaths during previous storm events. For those who must travel overnight and into the morning hours, please reduce your speed. Remain aware of the potential roadway hazards. Once again, please do not drive through floodwaters and around barricades. The public can stay informed of local roadway conditions by visiting drivenc.gov. Also, Star HP and 911 should be contacted for emergency purposes only. Please remember that your safety remains our state's and our governors and our agencies' highest priority. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Colonel McNeil. We are grateful for those courageous troopers out there. I'd now like to recognize Major General Todd Hunt, the Adjutant General of the North Carolina National Guard. General Hunt.
Thank you, Governor. And before I begin, I would like to personally thank the men and women of the North Carolina National Guard who since March have been supporting COVID-19 relief. And I want to thank you for your selfless service. So as previously mentioned, we are currently authorized 150 soldiers and airmen for duty to support the storm that's approaching. We're deployed into 6 different locations, and our citizen soldiers and airmen deployed yesterday to integrate with our Department of Public Safety and local officials at these locations. The locations that we're currently located at are Kinston, Elizabethtown, Williamston, Edenton, Clayton, and Moxville. We are currently capable of providing a variety of support with the most important one being life-saving measures and operations within the first 24 to 48 hours, followed by logistics support and then commodity distribution. We currently have 41 vehicles. Some of these vehicles can take high water. We also have communications equipment on hand, warehouse specialists for warehouse operations, and medical support for those communities that will require that as part of the DPS enterprise. We are ready to support, and I would again like to thank our citizen soldiers and airmen and their families for answering the call as the guardians of North Carolina. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, General Hunt. We're grateful for our National Guard soldiers, their service overseas. Some of them just got back home, and we're grateful for the work that they have provided us during the pandemic. We'll now take questions from the...
That was the Governor, Roy Cooper, explaining how the state is preparing for Tropical Storm Isaias as it heads towards the North Carolina coast. 3 big takeaways. He says be prepared for a lot of rain. Some places in North Carolina could receive up to 7 inches of rain. He also said shelters will be available for people that need to evacuate, but people will be screened for COVID-19, and they will be practicing social distancing in these shelters. He also said that power companies are expecting widespread power outages.